Hey everybody, it's Christina Holloway here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're wrapping up our series on leading change by talking about how to apply change management strategy that actually works. A good change management strategy isn't just a plan on paper. It's a blueprint for how to drive real results in your organization. Whether you're implementing new technology, restructuring a team, or adapting to market changes, an effective strategy will ensure you stay on track. In this video, we'll cover the basics of change management, introduce some key models, and I'll show you how to apply these strategies to your leadership role. Also, this year I'm sharing 12 leadership metrics that will help you succeed in your career. This is pretty much a full framework for how to develop your skills to build your career. This month, we're talking about leading change, and that wraps up the first 9 topics of the year. You can catch up on all the videos in the playlists on my YouTube channel. Everything is linked below in the description. Make sure to check it out. And make sure to download my free and updated communication toolkit that includes over 100 resources on how to elevate your professional presence. I am very excited about it, and I hope you find it valuable. Real quick, if you enjoyed this content and want to learn more about how to make power moves in your career, make sure to follow my channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video from me. All right, so let's get started. Let's start with the basics. What is change management and why does it matter? At its core, change management is the process of preparing, supporting, and helping individuals and teams make organizational changes. It's not just about managing tasks, it's about managing people's response to change. In fast moving industries, tech, life sciences, change is inevitable. Whether it's adopting new software or adjusting team structures or pivoting into new verticals and offerings, leaders need a strategy to ensure that change is implemented smoothly. This process involves understanding the human element of change, how it impacts your team, and how to get everyone on board with the new direction. For example, if you're rolling out a new software system in your company, the technical details are important, but so is preparing your team for the change. How do you train them, address their concerns, and make sure they feel supported during the transition? What methodologies do you have in place to successfully navigate this landscape? Because here's the thing, change can be disruptive, but it can also be predictable. Having effective change management models that help you navigate the unknown makes the process much smoother. And figuring out who you are as a leader during change or transformation will help you understand how to use these methodologies to your advantage. When I do personality assessments, one of the factors we discuss is how you deal with risk. Are you a person who can take an unknown situation, something foggy and unclear, and say, well, this is not well defined, but it's okay. I've done this before and I can steer us to the finish? Or are you someone who's more likely to say, well, this is unclear, so we should definitely have a lot more information before I make any decisions? If you know what kind of leader you are with unknowns and risk, you're more likely to lead with a better understanding of how you can find success. Ask yourself how many projects you've led with vague or unclear direction. Where are you able to figure it out and bring the project to a good conclusion? Were you able to fill in the blanks and use your experience and instincts to draw reasonable conclusions? Were you more likely to defer to others on your team and give them opportunities to lead where you felt unclear and uninformed? Take the time to understand who you are during change and then take the lead accordingly. So now that you have a better idea of what change management looks like, how it can work to your advantage if you can manage it well, and you started to define what kind of change leader you are, let's talk about the different change management models. There are a few change management models that have stood the test of time, and each offers a different approach to implementing change successfully. I'm going to talk about these models, but I've also included links to additional information in the description below. The McKinsey 7S model. I'm going to touch on this one quickly because I want you to see the different approaches and where they're valuable. This model is really about how you organize a business from the top. If you're interested in understanding strategic alignment across business operations, this is a good model to consider, but it's definitely about change management holistically across an organization. It's something the executive team would consider, but it's not really about you leading change from your position. John Kotter's 8-step change model. It's John Kotter, so it's by far a foundational approach that works and has been tested over the years. This model outlines steps for you to use, like creating urgency, building a coalition, forming a strategic vision, and anchoring new approaches in the company culture. It's highly structured and works well for large-scale changes. At the same time, the steps are universally applicable at any level of the organization. That's the beauty of John Kotter's methodologies. Of course, he has a book, Leading Change, and you should definitely check that out if you haven't already. Plus, the Harvard Business Review article, which I'm linking in the description below. The 8 steps are creating a sense of urgency, building a coalition, form a strategic vision, enlist a volunteer army, enable action by removing barriers, generate short-term wins, sustain acceleration, and institute change. It's great. It's very simple. It's something you can implement in a change management project right now. Take a look at your project, ask yourself where you are in this model, consider any one of these steps, and ask yourself what small change in approach you can make right now to show up as a decision maker in any one of these steps. The ADKAR model, ADKAR. This is a people-focused model that is based on the understanding that organizational change can only happen when individuals change. It's helpful when change needs to be driven by individuals within the organization. The word ADKAR is an acronym for the 5 outcomes an individual needs to achieve for a change to be successful: awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, and reinforcement. So I like this model. We started with the McKinsey model that was really intended for organizational change. Then the Kotter model, which was good for change management and transformational leadership in projects and process improvement. And then there's this model, which I think is good for directing change management techniques individually. How can I be a better change leader? How am I making sure the people around me are adjusting to change appropriately? To be clear, it's intended to be an organizational and project model, but in its simplicity, it works really well for up-and-coming leaders who are working on their change management skills. So here's an example from a client I've been working with, and we spoke this week. He works in the energy sector, and he's dealing with a really large-scale project, around $6 million cost, with a 14-day turnaround. Crazy. In addition to that, he's responsible for this big project because he's the only one with experience from doing it 3 years ago. Everyone on his team is new since then, and no one else knows the process. So he's definitely using the ADKAR model to ensure that each person on his team has awareness, desire, and knowledge. He identified the best people on his team who can handle high expectations and still deliver. He then used a coaching approach to help guide them to make informed decisions as they worked to complete this project. Why did this work? He made sure he worked with people who were familiar with him, even though they weren't familiar with the project. They trusted his leadership. This structured approach made it easier to manage such a large-scale transformation. So whether you're using Kotter's model or the ADKAR model, the goal is to have a framework that ensures everyone is aligned and that the change is sustainable. Now that you know the models, let's talk about how to apply them. The first step in applying a change strategy is to understand your specific challenge. Are you rolling out new technology, restructuring a team? Your strategy will depend on the scope and nature of the change. Start by defining the vision for the change. What's the end goal? And why does it matter for your organization? Next, engage stakeholders by communicating the vision clearly and addressing their concerns. Then, outline the steps needed to execute the change, whether it's training sessions, pilot programs, or regular progress updates. Finally, ensure you're constantly reinforcing the change. After the initial excitement wears off, you need to follow through by embedding the new processes into the company culture. For example, One leader I worked with was restructuring her department. So she used the Cotter's model to build urgency and get buy-in from her leadership team, but then she applied the ODCAR principles when it came to helping her individual team members adapt. This blended approach helped her handle both the large scale and personal aspects of the change. Very smart. So, how do you get started with your own change management strategy? First, choose a change management model that fits your needs. If you're working on a large organizational change, Cotter's model might be the right choice. If you're working closely with individuals, consider the ADCAR model. Next, outline your change initiative. Start with a clear vision of what needs to happen and why. Then, create a timeline that includes key milestones, training sessions, and check ins with your team to ensure everyone is on the same page. Last, don't forget to reinforce the change once it's implemented. This is key to making sure the new direction sticks. Leading change is about more than identifying problems, it's about applying strategies that get results. Whether you're using Cotter's 8-step model or ADCAR, the key is to ensure everyone is on board and the change is reinforced for the long term. All right, so that's it for my video on effective change management strategies that will help you drive results and manage a shifting environment as a professional. If you have examples of how you implemented effective change management strategies with the people around you or even major projects, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear about them. And if you enjoyed watching this video and you found it helpful, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up by hitting that like button and make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you never miss another video from me. That's it for the first 9 topics. We are now headed into the final months of the year, and the focus is going to shift to understanding where you add value with developing the business. Next month's topic is all about being strategic, and you don't want to miss that. Don't forget to download my updated communication toolkit. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.